Welcome. There's so much outdated wisdom in entrepreneurship out there. So much of it is about unlearning the conventional wisdom. We just blindly follow it. And it's very natural as a human being to stop questioning and just follow what everybody else is doing. And specifically, remember my first CEO. This is, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. It's going to age me. I remember the first CEO, shared this story. I'm sure this is the old adage you've heard of, where a little girl is watching her mother bake a loaf of bread. She cuts off the ends and then puts the loaf of bread inside the oven and then bakes it. And then the little girl is watching, and asks the mother, "Why do you cut off the ends before you put it in there?" And the mother goes, "Well, I don't know. That's how I was taught. So that's why I'm doing it." And she went to the grandmother and asked the same question. So why do you chop off the sides, significant portion of the loaf of bread before you bake it? And the grandmother said, I don't know. That's how I always did it. That's how I was taught by my mother. And she went to great grandmother. It's just story. Just hang in there. And asked, "Why do you cut off the ends of the loaf of bread before you put it in the oven?" And she said, "Well, back then the oven wasn't that big." So that's the moral of the story, right? If it's a stupid story, right? So it's we just blindly follow it and we forget to question almost everything we do because it takes more energy and brain power to be able to question it of what we just blindly follow. And this is what I spend most of the time advising startups and young entrepreneurs, especially, of not just following the herd, if you will. This is the experiment to try to scale it. There aren't very many technology executive type content out there, so I thought I try this out. It's called Dare. I said it. We're going to discuss basically the first principles of entrepreneurship, and I hope you really like it. On that note, let's get started. First, a little bit about me. Let's get this out of the way. I hate talking about myself. I'm VJ Jagan. I'm a technology executive. I've been doing this for 22, 23 years. Majority of my experience is founding startups or joining really, really early, something that always excites me, the new ideas, the disruptive ideas, and it reaches a certain exit, then I figure out what I want to do next. So I've been doing startups majority of my career and then grew them in a certain size and so on. So I love growing companies, teams, most importantly, people. This is going to be a common theme. I've had many failures, of course, and a couple of successes. I was fortunate enough to succeed on a couple of them. I'm obsessed in finding the objective truth. Why is it that 9 out of 10 startups fail? Why is it so hard? Like, what is it that's the missing ingredient? This is just my perspective of some of the things that I learned the hard way. So hopefully this is a shortcut for you all that you can learn from my mistakes, if you will. What's fascinating about this, more often than not, simplest solution tends to work the best, right? Occam's razor. What can you expect? What can you get out of it? First principles thinking around entrepreneurship. So it's the insights that I've learned throughout the years that hopefully will help you all. It's sort of my perspective. I'm going to cut through the noise as much as I can and try to find the signal. Right. I'm not going to assume just because everybody thinks something, um, and that's the right way. No, I'm going to question every single thing, trying to figure out. Okay, break things down and watch out for my own biases. Maximizes your chance of success. I'm going to keep it short. None of us have the time anymore in this very fast-paced world. Roughly 5 to 10 minutes per episode. If I'm going to use a slide, I'm going to use one slide. I'm going to force myself to use one slide. Hopefully, I can also stick with 3 bullet points. That's it. So great things come in threes, as you know. So I'm going to stick with those 3 things. A lot of the discussions or a lot of the episodes that's coming is going to be centered around 3 areas. Number one, people. You're gonna get sick of me talking about people, by the way. Just word of warning, because it's critical to everything. It's critical to your success. So this is again going back to the core. And what I mean by people is like getting to know people. What drives us? What's our internal biases? So think of it as almost like psychology. I minored in psychology. I didn't finish. I'm not a psychologist, but it's something that I'm very passionate about. Something that I'm if I wasn't doing this, I'll probably be a psychology researcher or therapist or something. I just love the psychology aspect of it, of understanding human behavior. Number two, group of people, which is what a business is, right? So again, you're going to get sick of me. How do we get group of people to work together to achieve something, especially from different backgrounds, different opinions, different political opinions, dare I say? Oh my goodness, the heck is going on out there? The tribalistic behavior that we have innately is absolutely incredible to me. So we've got to get untribed. All right, that's what I keep calling it. Tools are also important, which is what technology is about. Now, again, I want to be very careful. I'm a technologist. I've been a CTO in various different companies. I have a very deep passion for technologies, but the key difference is I'm not passionate about technology for the sake of the technology. I'm passionate about what the technology can do for human beings and make the world a better place. That's what I'm really passionate about. It's the application of it. Far more than the technology itself. This is something that I spend a lot of time coaching engineers to think about. Hopefully, this is the most boring episode. And if you like this kind of content, of course, this is just an intro, episode 0, if you will. If you like the first episode that's coming up, then, think about subscribing and see if you like it. Until the first episode, keep daring. Ciao.